I was doing a lot of different things to get there. It took me so long to get there. And when I got there, I was just not who Krystal is. I was not the woman who had been through other things and gotten over and got past it. I couldn't get past this. I couldn't get past it. It was just like a block in my life. And if I just kept covering it and just kept going and not healing, I would have never got to where I am today.
Hey, friend.
Hey,
How are you today?
I'm good.
How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm ready.
Good.
Let's
Okay.
go.
All right. All right. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to a conversation with Krystal A. Hughes. Today, she's going to be sharing her journey from surviving to thriving as she discusses her book, Read My Story, Hear God's Glory, A Healing Journey. Details of childhood trauma, overcoming obstacles, healing, and God being at the center of it all. So just to jump right in, my first question to you would be, who is Krystal Hughes?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. Who is Krystal Hughes? So I'm going to always start off when describing who I am. I'm going to say I'm a woman of God. That's first off who I am. That's the first element I want anybody to see. I know I don't act it all the time. I might not look it all the time, but I am definitely a woman of God. And then going from there, I'm a daughter, I'm a granddaughter, I'm a sister, I'm a friend.
A friend, definitely.
I am
sister
I'm
friend.
A niece, a sister friend.
Yes.
I'm an author now. I'm a respiratory therapist. I am a woman with a voice unapologetically. I am strong. I'm female. I'm feminine and masculine. I'm all things God called me to be before I was predestined in the womb.
Yeah.
I'm everything He called me to be.
Yeah.
That's who I am. And we'll see how much more, who much more I become
Yeah, I can't
later
wait.
on. But right now, this is who I am, and I'm solidified in it.
That's beautiful, beautiful. So to add to that, we said who is Krystal Hughes. So I'm going to ask, who was Krystal Hughes?
Ooh, honey, she was a mess. Krystal Hughes was a mess, baby. If y'all go back to my past, if anybody from my past, most people gonna probably say, yeah, she was all over the place. She was a mess. She was a mess.
I don't know.
But with that being said, I had a lot going on. I was angry for many, many years. I was a very angry person. Just from my childhood traumas, from the life I was living, the things I was going through, I was angry. I was, I would say I was stuck. I was stuck. I had a lot of motion, a lot of things going on. I mean, I moved from little old Birmingham, Alabama, all the way to Abu Dhabi. But even in that, I was still stuck to January 15, 2017. A trauma that was just so big, I was stuck. I had all this motion, flying all over the world, doing all of these things, but I was stuck. Very unhealed, in an unhealed space, very unhealed space, not living to the best of ability of who I am, not looking at living my light. I was just a shadow of my true self. That's who I was.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm so glad to see you on the other side of it.
Amen.
I seen you go through it.
Yes.
And just to see you who you become today is a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
So, also with that being said, what made you want to share your story with the world?
Well, First off, here's a couple things. The first thing is me and you was hanging out.
Yeah.
We were hanging out and we was praying. We do a lot of hanging out. We do a lot of praying.
Yeah.
That's our friendship. And we were praying, and as we was praying, you was asking me so many questions. We was catching up. We had a distance between each other for a while.
Yeah.
That negative, no drama, y'all.
No. She was in Abu Dhabi for 5 years.
Right. So.
And I lost my mom
And
within
we
that.
just had a lot of stuff, so we were kind of separated, and we were learning each other.
Yeah,
and
again,
we was praying, and she said, "You need to write a book." And at first, I was like, "Okay," I took that in.
The Spirit told me that you needed to write a book.
Right, the Holy Spirit told her that I need to write a book. And no matter who tell you, you need to go back and go to the Holy Spirit and say, did you say this, God? Was this you?
Definitely.
And I say that because I've written a book before.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't my first book. But that first book, now hindsight is 2020. I know that first book was not as in depth as this book is. Mm. It didn't have the emotion this book is. And it also did not have it just didn't have the depth. It didn't have everything that's happened that's in this book hadn't happened yet. Mm-hmm. So it was premature. Mm-hmm. Everything is timing in God. Everything is timing in life. Mm-hmm. So I took that and I was just like, okay. And I thought about it. I said over it. And then it's kind of like God just gave me confirmation. And I started writing. Once I started writing, I couldn't stop writing.
Yeah.
So it was that. That was really one of the first and the major reason I started. Then the second thing is when I was going through my trauma, when I was in the pits, when I was in the dark space, just walking around like a zombie, really. I was just in such a space, just so empty. I was just a shell walking around. I didn't have what I felt like I needed. I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the proper people in my life to really pull me out or really make me feel like, dang, I can get through this.
Right.
And so I went searching, seeking books, everything, and nothing really gave me what I needed, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I just said to myself, if I was another person, and they're going through this, what would I say to them? What did they need to hear? And I know, and especially a trauma like rape, there are no real books that are like really, really detailed enough to give you what you need. You need so much understanding, love, and care going through a trauma like that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's on a deeper level.
I can only imagine.
I've experienced billion traumas at this point,
right.
Probably every trauma. Right. But with that being said, that trauma hits a little differently. It's a whole different type of trauma. And there are no books on the shelves quite like this one that's going to walk you through everything, feel with you, let you know that you are not alone. You're not the only person. Yes. It's not your fault. I made it so detailed. That's the reason I made it so detailed. So somebody can say, this isn't just somebody writing a book. This is somebody who went through this.
And I can agree with that.
Who knows this. The feelings are true.
Yeah,
because the feelings are mutual.
Yeah, because like when we're out and about and we are talking to people, or we go to dinner, it's just like people always say, like, it took courage for you to do this. Like, it happened to me too. Mm-hmm. And for me to be an onlooker of that, it's just like, I take that as a privilege, because I'm like, the only thing I can do is be here and support you,
right.
Push you forward to continue to push that message out there, because a lot of times people don't know, first of all, where to start.
Right.
Or have the courage, or they're embarrassed about it, but it's nothing to be embarrassed about, because it is part of your journey.
Exactly.
And you don't know how you can help other people.
There's no shame in it. We all go through everybody's going through something.
Yes.
It's no shame about it.
Right.
So that was the second major reason that I wanted to write this book. I wanted people to be able to see it. And that's just one of the traumas. Trust me, it's many more. Yeah. To have the tools, what I did, what I went through, what steps I took. Nobody picking up a book that's like 10 steps to this and step 1.
Okay.
So it ain't working.
So with that being said, what prompted your healing journey?
So what prompted my healing journey? First off, I give a very specific thing that happened in the book that made me say, okay.
You want to share just a little bit? Just give us a little snippet.
They got to read it.
No snippets?
Okay. They said that this is this is time. It's time. So I give us a very specific reason, but the broader reason of it is, like I said, like I just said previously, I was just walking around like a zombie. Everything in my life was suffering. On the outside, you couldn't see that. Anybody who's been following me, I was heavy on Facebook, heavy on Instagram, heavy on Snapchat. Like I was traveling a lot.
Right.
So people were just looking at me just to see my travels.
Yeah, living
People
through
would,
you, through your travels. Yeah.
Everybody's like, I'm living through you vicariously. Please post.
Yes.
I would post my passport stamp, then the money, then just just every step of it. So people were really tuned in for that. Nobody knew that I was getting on planes praying that they crashed. And nobody died but me. I was in such a dead place. I was really just in a terrible space. So I really need everything. So my relationships were suffering with the people around me. I just, I was having mental breakdowns privately, like just privately going through things. It was taking everything. I would get up, go to work. I write about this in the book.
Yeah.
When I first moved to Abu Dhabi, I'm in a new world. I'm in a new country, and I couldn't even enjoy it. I couldn't even really embrace what I was doing, And I worked hard in months to get over there. It's not like that you get a job and you go. No, you got to go through all these clearances. Mm-hmm. I took tests. I was doing so many things, negotiations, I'm always get my coin. Make sure y'all always get y'all coin.
That part.
So I was doing a lot of different things to get there. It took me so long to get there. And when I got there, I was just not who Krystal is. I was not the woman who had been through other things and gotten over and got past it. I couldn't get past this. I couldn't get past it. It was just like a block in my life. And if I just kept covering it and just kept going and not healing, I would have never got to where I am today. So it was just needed, and God was sending out little drops, little seeds, little through words. We always think
like, how was he speaking to you? Like through people or?
Through people, through just different recognitions. I never, during that time, even though I blocked him out, I still was reading books. I still was listening to sermons. Mm-hmm. I still was fasting. It took a friend, my roommate over there said the other day, girl, you used to fast all the time. And I was so blind to how I was still operating that I didn't even realize she did used to see me fast because I was so determined to get out that space. That was a very low place for me. Very low place, a very dark place. I'm going to be honest, if I died, I don't know where I was going eternally, And that is a big thing for me. You know what I'm saying? I always want to know, if I go today, this is where I'm going. Yeah. I don't know why I was going because I didn't have none of me, none of who I've grown to be, none of who I fought to be. So it prompted it.
With that being said, though, I feel like, just listening to you, you had already built the foundation of everything that you were doing before you got over there. So even though you were in Abu Dhabi and you were lost at the moment, you took everything that you learned, you took your fast and you took your praying, even though it wasn't filling your spirit, you kept it.
Right.
You kept it. And it kept you.
Yeah.
And it definitely kept you.
It definitely did. Because the way I was, honestly, I don't know what could have happened. And then I was in a foreign country showing my behind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We hear about
they falsely detained, and it wasn't like, let's be clear, I wasn't like just walking up to people being shouting it. But if you tried me, it was going to $1 billion.
So Krystal from home was
Krystal
from home was over there.
Listen, Krystal from the west side of Birmingham, from Pratt City. Shout out to Pratt City. It was going there real fast. Krystal from J.O. from Daniel Payne fighting 2, 3 folks at a time. It was going there real fast.
Yeah.
It was not, and I had grown from that.
Yeah.
I had grown from that.
Yeah.
I had become a whole woman, an educated woman, a college degree woman, a professional. I had been in my profession 3.5 years at this time as a respiratory therapist. And I was just in a place where it was going to take me back to everything that I had fought to get past. So
Okay.
that's what prompted my healing. It was time.
That's beautiful.
I had to heal.
Beautiful.
It was death or death. It was life or death at that point.
And you chose life.
I chose
I'm
life,
thankful.
and I'm going to live it.
That's right. That's right. My next question is going to be, who is your target audience?
So this is a good question. I feel like that people always assume just because I'm a Black woman, and I'm thankful for that. And because I look like this, I'm natural that my target audience is just Black women. And trust me, y'all are in the forefront. I love y'all. We got to love each other. We have to pour into each other because we know what the rest of the world looks like and what we've endured and what we see. So with that being said, they're all going to be the forefront. But this book is for anybody. Anybody who's been through any type of trauma, anything that has shook you to your core, that changed you, changed who you are. You know corely who you are. You know your character. You know your beliefs. You know who you are. And if something comes in and it hurts you so bad that it just changed you, and it don't have to be something extreme as rape. It can be a breakup. Something that really changes you. It's for you. Anybody who needs a tools, who's searching for something, searching for someone, because baby, God all up and through here. He also said write this book. He also, even in the title, he gave me the title.
I remember you going back and forth.
I had a whole nother title.
Yes.
I was like, and I was driving in the car, and I was just thinking about titles, and he said, that's it right there. For my glory, it's for his glory. This is his glory. This is a product of who he is. This is a product of his healing power. I'm a product of it. You get to see that in real time. So this book is for everybody who's been for anything, man or woman. I talk about mass incarceration, which is something I dealt with on a big level in my family, in my walk of life. It's having I had a record at a time. I was fighting a case. I had a record, and they talk about that in the book, and how I know what it is to be qualified, overqualified, and they pull your background and say, "Wait a minute, use a danger to society." But yet, and still during the pandemic, they hire anybody. But that ain't the subject today. But with that being said, it's for any and everybody, any race, male or female. It is for everybody. Anybody who wants to change their life, anybody that's looking to change their life. But you gotta everybody who's ready to put in the work. Because even with me writing this, it took a lot of work. Yeah. Even with my healing journey, healing is work, but it's so rewarding on the other side.
And I remember when you started the journey of writing the book, and you were off for a month. And you took that whole month. You didn't talk to a lot of people on the phone. You didn't do a lot of communicating. You separated yourself so that way you could hear from God. Absolutely. I would call and check in. He's like, I'm on chapter 2 or I'm on chapter 8.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, well, good. So just to see you work through it and then doing it all on your own, like figuring it out all on your own.
I'm an indie book writer,
guys. She did it all on her own, y'all. She was looking up everything. I mean, everything.
Yes.
Covers, photographers.
Yes. I went back and forth.
Editors.
Everything.
Editors, everything. So, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's definitely a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
To continue going on with your target audience, and you saying that anybody that's dealing with trauma, that they should read this book. What made you decide to share so much about your childhood traumas, and how did that make your family feel with sharing those things?
Okay, so first I want to say this. I went about sharing so much and being so in depth because I feel like, and I've heard this, and this may sound cliche, But people don't care about what you've gone through and what you've been through if they don't, if they don't know you.
They don't know
They don't know the backstory.
Right.
It's just kind of like, how you go to somebody for guidance and they just kind of say, do this, but you like, well, what's the method behind the madness? Why do this? I want it to be so transparent that the people can say, oh, this why. They don't even have to ask. I'm answering questions that they ain't even asked yet.
Yeah.
So I want it to be so specific that no one has to wonder or overthink why I'm giving you these exact. And also one of the other biggest things is in God, in healing, in everything, we try to keep everything hidden. We come from a culture of hiding everything. We come from a culture that everything, they tell your parents tell you what goes on in this house,
right.
It stays in this house.
Especially in the Black household.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything is hidden.
Yeah.
So when it's hidden, anything can go on. The devil just weighing you out.
Yeah.
he just taking you down through there. He just weighing you out.
Yeah.
When you put that light on it, when you let God see it, when you speak those words out your mouth and you expose it, then baby, once the light shine on it, he's the light. Once the light gets shined on it, there's no going back. There's nothing else can fight it. Once he has it, that's it, So it needed to be transparent. A lot of things in that book need to be exposed. There are people suffering in my own family right now from some of these secrets. There are people suffering in other people's families and environments.
Curses
just carrying on because there's no light being exposed to it. But when you get it from behind that shame, when you get from behind that hurt, in that pain, and you say, look at me. This is what I went through. Once that light is on you, nobody can take it from you. Once that light is on you, the devil or the darkness can never seep back over it. Because God, once he in it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, those are definitely, that's the top reason. As far as my family and how they feel about it, so this book wasn't written out of revenge, okay? I would be a much better villain than a book writer. If I had to be a villain, I would just be a much better villain than this.
Definitely,
this is pretty basic villain stuff if you're going to do that. So,
right.
This book wasn't written revenge. Initially, a lot of people, especially my mom, who has she's my mother, so a lot of my childhood trauma stems from our relationship and how she operated with us. Initially, they're shocked. They're, feeling exposed themselves because it's their life too, initially. But the one thing I will say about all of them is they say there's no lie. There's not one lie in this book. They couldn't deny it. It's no denial. Some of them just said why. But once they get to the end of their book, their energy change. Their energy shift. They get it. I had an aunt come to me and say, I get it. I never asked that again. She just got it.
Yeah.
I've had different people in the family do that. So
have you had anybody that just was like cut you off because of it or decided to cut communication?
Not really, because to be honest, I've been distant from my family. When you're the first, when you're the different one, you gotta have that distance. It's just it's painful and isolating as it feels. It just is what it is. Because when you're trying to grow, sometimes you can't stay tethered to what you're trying to grow from. So and then I was out of the country for years. And everybody got this soul food story in the Black community.
Definitely.
When my great grandmother passed, the family kind of dispersed then. We did at one point had that tight knit, loving family, and I love that. That was a trauma for me. The way that I was a kid when I stopped seeing my aunties and uncles every Sunday, or everybody not being there for Christmas and holidays. I was a child when that happened, and we had already had a lot of separation. So honestly, it wasn't really any more distancing they can do because we were already distant.
So the book it had no involvement with your book. It was other family issues.
Oh no, it had nothing. My book, the other issues is with my book is probably everybody don't even got my book, but the ones I've read it, they have read it. Like I said, this their initial response is shock. You know, it's a lot of exposure, and crazily, a lot of my family, it's a lot of things are new to them, because my mom kept us kind of separated from the family. You know, she had her issues with the family, so we had the same issues according to her, because she, you know, she separated. She was a little different, and so we were already very separated from our family. So a lot of them, they were apologetic. They were loving. They're like, I wish I knew. You know, especially in college, I'm selling my plasma to buy books. They like, why you didn't ask?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know I could ask. We had been separated so long, and you know, separation, you don't know folks. You just kind of, even if it's your family, they become strangers to you.
Yeah.
They just become strangers. And so it has nothing to do with my book. So, and like I said, the other thing they say is, the ones that did know and was close, you ain't lie. You know, you ain't lie about anything. And a lot of the stuff I wrote about, you know, for the researchers out there, you could Google it. The murder that went on, Kayla Fanahi, you can put her name in Google and read her story.
Yeah.
You know, and then you'll see my involvement. I didn't murder her, but you'll see my involvement once you read the book.
I remember when that happened. We had just met. We had just met that semester in college.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can read that with with me. I was a dependent of the state, awarded the state. I was determined an adult at 16, 17 years old. I have that paperwork still, because when I used to do my FAFSA, I used to have to write that I'm basically an orphan and I'm an adult to do my FAFSA. When my other stuff that went on, like with us in foster care, me and my sisters, I have that paperwork. I needed that paperwork because I had to have those things to prove, you know, so I can get an apartment and stuff like that. So nobody could ever deny it. Everything is factual. I have the paperwork. It's Googleable. I mean, that's how they've handled it thus far. Okay. You know?
Yeah, good. Okay, I'm going to do a reader's question.
Okay.
So this question came in from a reader. What is your response to people that say they don't want to read anything trauma-filled or triggering?
That's a good question. I want to say this. I 100% get it, and I understand. Trauma is horrible. Who wants to go through trauma? Yeah. And everybody got something. Everybody got a story. My trauma might not be your trauma. Your trauma might not be my trauma. And though I have had a lot of trauma and been through a lot of things, there's still someone else who's probably seen worse than I have.
Definitely.
Some less.
Yeah.
So I get it, but we all have it. I would tell anybody who's going through, say if you are actively going through a trauma, and you say, well, I want to pick up this book, but I'm scared to read it. I get it. When I first went through my rape, I used to love watching SVU. Man, I would watch
marathon.
Yes.
Saturday mornings.
But obviously I wasn't taking it in as y'all reading the book. It was entertainment to me.
Yes, right.
But I
get it.
used to watch SVU nonstop. After my rape, it was so triggering. Even sometimes now, depending on the episode, I may just change it, you know, because it's triggering. And that's the thing about healing, you know, and that's why healing is a journey. Let me say this. Being healed and having healing doesn't mean you won't ever be triggered again. It doesn't mean you won't ever feel some type of way about that thing. It just means that how you handle that now is different. How you've overcame it now is different. And it also means that you know that you can beat it because you've already fought it. You know, you know, if it comes up, you know, I remember at one point in time, every month, I would see my the person who raped me. I would see their face. I would, you know, it was just like a triggering, it was like a thing. Now I can see his face. I'm seeing it as I speak, and it doesn't bother me. At one point, I couldn't even speak like this without crying, you know. And I'm getting teary-eyed because I'm just thinking about how far I've overcame.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even speak like this. You know, my voice would crack.
Yeah.
My mood would change. How I said my posture would be different, you know. So once you know, healing is a journey, but just because you're healed don't mean you can't be triggered.
Correct. Yeah.
So I get it. The other thing I would say is in this book, if you start at chapter 10, 9, like the end of 9 through the last chapter is tools. It's less about what I went through. It's more about the tools to get through it. If you find yourself in a trauma, please go to the last half of 9 and read it that way to the end, which I think is 13 chapters. I know this is my book, yeah, but I think it's the end. It's 13 chapters. Read it that way. You don't have to read the front, or read the front once you are healed enough to read the front.
Yeah.
But I want you to get this book, because I'm not giving y'all, like I said, it's so many books out there that's very cliche. No, I'm talking to y'all like a sister.
The next question I want to ask you is, did you find it hard to change / like transform your life? And in regards to that, I'm meaning like your surroundings, your friends, thoughts, etc.
Transformation does not happen overnight. It will not happen overnight. It does not happen overnight. And with that being said, I'm constantly changing. Even now, I've made promises to myself within the next month. It's things I'm going to stop doing. And I'm going to do it because I'm sticking to it. But with that being said, I would say initially, yes, because also, like when you say family, friends, these are people that you've grown to love and know. So you feel like they can't be wrong. You know, you trust them. These are your people. But when you grow and when you're trying to transform and change, God open your eyes. The veil is lifted, as we like to say in the church community. The veil is lifted. And you start to see things about people that you never seen before. Yeah. You love this person to the core. But then the veil gets lifted. And you like,
how did I miss that?
Wait a minute. Yes. Yeah. So, and when you in trauma and you just in a negative space, you can't see it or hear it, you know. So, but once you get on that journey and you get that momentum and you get the move and you start to see things about people and you say, not that you don't love them, not that they're even bad people, but we're not aligned anymore, you know. And it becomes easier. The more you do it, the more rewarding it becomes, because your life transforms and now you have these better, healthier people surrounding you. You have these better places that you're in. You know, I had to leave Abu Dhabi. It was time. I was not growing. I was healing. I wasn't healed, but I was healing. But the other part of my healing journey that I needed, the other part of my transformation that I needed, couldn't be done there. I had to come back to America. So I feel like it just, when it's necessity, you do it, you know. So it became necessity for me. It was necessary and I did it. So it's not that initially it may be hard, but afterwards, I remember a good example. At the beginning of this year, I was saying, I like to go out.
Yes, she does.
I'm a party girl. I'm a twerk queen. That's what they call me on the dance floor. I'm going to be honest with y'all, you know. But the way God is transforming my life, that doesn't align with who I am. Forget the brand. It doesn't align with who he's transforming and changing me to. So with that being said, I was like, man, I'm going to be bored. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to just be lying, be in the house. That's how I was, you know, thinking. But no, now I don't even like, you know, I've been saying, I don't even want to go nowhere. Yeah. It's like he just like took it from me. He took it from me. I don't even want to be out for real anymore. And it's just a thing that just changed. You know, I prayed about it constantly. Like, I don't know. I said that to God. God, what I'm going to be doing then?
I need something to replace it. You got to give me some. Yeah.
At the house, just what I'm be doing, you know, because I'm a social person. I'm a very sociable person. I'm always out. You know, people love me. You meet me, you love me. You know, the energy there, you know. Yeah. I'm very companionable. Yeah. You know, so people invite me everywhere. I can go somewhere every night of every month of every day of the year if I decided to. So I was like, well, how is this gonna? I was so worried about it. You know, we was praying about it in our prayer group, and then all of a sudden now I just don't want to do it. So I don't find it hard. I found it sometimes challenging, but I wouldn't call it hard. And I feel like when it becomes a necessity, and when the deeper you go in God, the deeper you read, the deeper you pray, some things your spirit is not even going to allow or want you to do.
Yeah, and I can attest to that. I can agree, because like when things are being revealed to you as you're spending time with him and he's revealing it to you, you're like, okay, God, you may not have given me the full picture,
Right.
but I can see, like, I can just having the faith, like like the Bible says, having the faith of a mustard seed.
Exactly.
And just living on that, just living day by day, day by day, day by day.
Yes, and the Holy Spirit is within us.
Yeah.
You know, the convicting powers. The deeper you go, baby, some stuff you're just gonna be like, it's not worth me feeling sad about today.
Yes.
It's not worth me having, feeling this kind of way about today. So, Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna just shut down and shut up.
Okay, activate.
And you don't have to be activate. Right. But you don't have to be a statue. It's plenty of things to do. It's just you change how and what you do. It's just simple as that.
Properly feeding your mind, properly feeding your spirit.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. Beautiful, friend. Another question. How are you able to overcome so much adversity and keep going? We need to know. Like, I need you to give us some cheat codes, give some people advice. Like, because most people don't know where to start. They always like, man, I don't know where to start. Like, I want to change. I want to do something different. But, like, what was your journey? Can you share some things?
Absolutely. So, I feel like the thing about it is first off, I had to analyze and see what my life was. Like I said, I was in a dirty space. My attitude wasn't my light. My light was shining because thankfully people were able to still see the best in me. But it was dim. It wasn't shining as bright as it normally would, So with that being said, I had to analyze myself first. I had to see who I was. And then I had to separate myself. I blocked people. Y'all will read about it in the book. I cut people off. I got in fasting zones or zones where I just separated myself. Not necessarily isolation where I just cut everybody out, but I separated myself. The people who were important to me, I said, hey, I need some time. I pulled back from them. I pulled back from the world. I pulled back from social media. I would go on social media breaks for months. I just pulled back from everything, decluttered and declouded my space, And then once I got in that space, and that's the space, once you get in that space, here's Jesus right here. He comes sit by you. He starts to talk. He's starting to talk to me. I'm reading more. I'm listening more. I have the cues to say, okay.
What were you reading? What were you reading?
Different thing. I've been reading the Bible, the New Testament. I've read it all the way to Revelation. I'm gonna finish Revelations before the end of this year is out. So I got in my Bible, and I had a regular Bible, and then I had a Bible like guide that kind of breaks it down, because we know the Bible ain't easy to read. And don't read it, please don't read it in KJV.
Please
unless
don't.
That's your spirit. Then, some people can read
it.
You're right. I can't. I'm an NIV, NLT type of girl.
Hello.
So I couldn't read it like that in that sense, in that way. So I had a study Bible. So separations, reading the word, looking at positive things, getting around positive people. Thank you, Kamisha. Thank you, friend. Getting around positive people who ain't gonna let you, that sees the best in you and wants the best for you as well. Where it's no competition.
Right.
Where there's no I have a prayer group every Sunday at 8 a.m. We on a prayer call, baby. The world has so much. That 8 a.m., we come and pour out on each other. We come and say what's going on. We ask each other how our week was. Yeah. We love on each other. Yeah. We encourage each other. We all listening and reading and listening to different sermons, sharing stuff. I had a community. Get your community. That's going to make your transformation change too. And I know people always say, well, how do you find community? Pray about it. God gonna send you the right people. Even me sitting on this couch at 3 Millie Production. Shout out to 3 Millie. Thank y'all. Even me sitting on this couch. A guy that I briefly told me about them, and now here we are. You know, God will send you little seeds, send you the right people, orchestrate what you need in your life to change. The tools are there. You just have to find them. You know, stay in prayer, stay closest to God as you can. I would also say, write, journal, reflect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's another thing.
Write
I did a lot of
right. Yeah.
I did a lot of writing. You know, we say words have power. It's not just spoken word. It's written words.
Yeah.
It's meditation in that. It's, you know, even also with that being said, it's healing in that.
Yeah.
It's healing in the writing.
Yeah.
You know, so all of these things are just basic tools that you can do. We make everything so big,
complicated.
We act like we gotta go through Nicaragua and get dumped in the Jerusalem River and baptized, and we gotta run around the block, and you know we gotta what David was doing, putting on sackcloth and ashes in the Bible, in the Bible times. When really you could just start to say, okay, I'm gonna just be quiet in this season.
I'm gonna have a listening ear.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna listen more than I talk.
Right.
I'm gonna seek out the right people. Yeah. I'm gonna seek out a better church. I don't like this church.
Yeah.
I don't like this church. I don't like this. I don't like the people here. Their attitude bad. Well, I'm gonna go to a new church. I'm going to find a new church. I'm going to do my research on the church. I'm going to watch some of their YouTube videos first and see if I like their spirit, you know. Or I'm going to go to church with a friend. Yeah. If you don't like this one, go to the next one. I'm going to go to therapy. It's so many things you could do, but you got to do something.
Start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, if you just all that talk and no action, it's just what it is, just talk. Faith without, y'all know the rest.
Is dead, baby.
And with that being said, you got to do something. You have to start somewhere. It's simple as that. You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to lighten the mood, I have a question. So when we're out or anytime people are talking and you're talking about your book, people always ask, what happened to your boyfriend from the book? So where is he?
First of all,
is he still alive?
The man is alive and well.
Okay.
Glory to God. That is why y'all so nosy about relationships.
Yeah, people want to know.
They want to know.
They want to know.
They want to know. This is I'm telling y'all, this is in the top 3 questions I get because this book been out a year. Let me say that this book will be out. It's been out a year now.
It has been, yeah.
And we'll get into the re-release in part 2, why and all of that. But this book has been out a year. So there have been people who have read this book and it told several times, emailed me, flagged me down, talked to me about this book. And so that's like the top 3 of questions is, where's the guy? So, as far as the guy, a lovely man. He's a good man, Savannah.
He is a good man, Savannah.
He's a good man, Savannah. Lovely person. We're still in contact. We talk here and there. We're still friends. We have a bond. We were kids when we got together, 17 and 19, you know. So you grow and develop so much. I'm a 34-year-old young woman, you guys. 34 years young. Not 17 anymore. So we both have just grown and developed differently in different paths. So with that being said, just because somebody is good doesn't mean they're good for you.
Right.
He's good to me now. He's a good, like I said, this is anything, I have nothing to say disparaging about him.
Yeah.
He's a good person. But he, at this time, I'm going to say this, and God hasn't shown me that he's the man or the person for me. And I have grown in my relationships. And as a woman who's dated and been out here, and I clearly understand that now, that relationships is not just about love.
Yeah.
You can love anybody, stay around them long enough.
You really
That's
can.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. Definitely.
We gonna be honest.
Yeah.
You can love anybody, you stay around them enough.
Right.
Because our affection, emotions tend to change towards people.
Right.
So I feel like, you know, that's one thing. And then even chemistry. I mean, I think people like, oh, we got chemistry. Even chemistry is basic level to me now.
Definitely.
It's very, because I'm companionable.
Yeah.
I can talk to anybody about anything.
Right.
I have gone to bars or corner store market. I be talking to people and I feel like I know you my whole life. Like, I'm companionable. So I can have chemistry with anybody if I choose to. You know, I've been around the world. I mean, I talk to people in Indian, Filipino, Indonesian. I've been everywhere. You know, I've traveled to like 30 countries.
I was like, how many countries have you been to?
It's been about 30. We're going to add them up one day and see. You know, because I might be overshooting it. But it's been more than 20.
Okay, that's
so
good. It's good.
It's been more. It's been a lot
34?
of countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot of countries. And so I have met people from all walks of life. So I know how to talk to people. You know, I'm very companionable. So even chemistry is not enough. It just takes what I'm looking for and what I want in a relationship. First and foremost, I don't think we're on the same page anymore. And then not only that, what God is sending me, he has a perfect mate for me. I truly believe that in my heart. And I want that. And just simply having a man, my man is just not enough for me.
Yeah.
It's just, I've grown into a person and a woman that I need specific things from my man as though he will from me.
Correct.
And that's perfectly fine. But I'd rather wait for that perfect situation than just to say, oh, we got chemistry, we got history, we was together since we was 17. We do have love for each other. You know, we care about each other. He can call me, I can call him. But that's not enough to have.
I can call him too.
Anybody in my family, you know, if we never went, you know, the extra level in a relationship, he could be my brother, cuz, you know, because that's how close we are.
Yes.
But that's disgusting now because we have been to the extra level.
We get the
but yes, but that's what's happened to him. He's still around. He's still a good person. We still have a good relationship. We're not together. I'm a single woman. All right.
Okay.
Waiting on my husband from Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
All right now. So people, with that being said, people, she has answered the question about the boyfriend from the book. Me. So this is it. We're going to leave it here. We're going to leave it here on the podcast. Okay. Y'all got it. I want to ask one last question. And it's in regards to you writing the book. The last question is, how has writing this book and taking in the responses from others made you feel or shaped your life?
So, like I said, you guys, this book has been out a year and a month now.
Yeah. About that.
September 25th is October, almost 25th. So it's been out a year and a month. The first feeling I have is gratitude. Thank y'all. Let me say that. For those who already got the book, DM me if you had the book before this ad. You going to get a discount code for the merch and stuff coming in the next video. So DM me. Okay. Email me. I got you. Thank y'all. Y'all didn't have to buy this book.
The support has been real.
Y'all didn't have to buy this book. Nobody has to pick up this book. Who even reads in 2023? Thank y'all. I feel gratitude. I feel that I'm walking in a deeper level of my purpose. Because people have really came up to me and told me their stories. And y'all been through a lot.
Yes, they have.
And I want y'all to know y'all not alone. People have told me their stories.
Yeah.
They feel a space of freedom. They still feel a safe space from reading my book and getting to know me. They feel a safe space.
Yeah.
So I have, that's such a humbling and grateful experience to have. Writing this book has also deepened my healing. You know, because it's one thing to live it. It's another thing to go back and reflect over it.
Yeah, I have to sit through it all
over again. All over again. And I mean, it's deep, yeah. I didn't even realize how low, how deep, how dark I was and where I was at. Yeah. So to see it and to be where I am now, I'm so grateful to God.
Yeah. Can somebody bring me some tissue?
I'm so grateful to God. So grateful to God. So it's been overwhelming, overwhelmingly beautiful. I have so much gratitude. I have so much gratefulness about it. I have so much joy. Thank you. I have so much joy now. I'm grateful I did it. I'm grateful that you guys have received it. And I just feel joy. I feel like I'm walking in my purpose. And I feel like that going forward and going further, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm a healer.
Yeah.
I'm a motivator.
Yeah.
This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's what I want to do in everybody who watches this video life.
Yeah.
You know, I want to pour into you. If you have nobody else, I want to be that one.
Yeah.
I want my life, my journey, you know, follow me. I'm always going to be putting something positive in the atmosphere. We see enough negativity.
Or if we're out, I want people to know, like, when we're out, approach us. I know we could probably come off a little standoffish.
She got RBF. I don't.
I really do. Okay.
Smiling.
Yeah.
She got it, but she ain't mean. Yeah.
Definitely.
She's so loving.
Yeah.
This girl has been by my side through thick and thin, baby. And I mean thick and thin. Thick and thin. So,
yeah.
I mean, yes. I'm just in my purpose now. That's how I feel. I feel gratitude.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I feel gratefulness.
Yeah.
I feel another level of healing in myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like God has said, it's your purpose, it's your time.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Well, I want you to know that I have enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you. I've enjoyed you. Thank you for being my host.
Okay.
For driving 2 hours.
Okay.
Getting up early on a Saturday.
Right. Stepping out.
Dedication, yeah.
Yeah, stepping outside my comfort zone.
Yes.
But anything for a sister friend.
I appreciate you. I
love you. I love you too. I love you too.
If you guys like this video, listen, you can have your own Read My Story, Hear God's Glory book, my journal, and everything else. Go over to kahughes.net or Amazon. I know y'all Prime people like Amazon. Y'all like it fast. Go to Amazon or go to kahughes.net and you can get my book, this journal, and more merch and everything else you need, every other tool you need to start your own healing journey. Thank you for watching.